The quest for lost media is ongoing and ever-present. Across the world and web, people search tirelessly for pieces of nostalgia lost to time. But while everyone and their brother searches for well-known pieces like Saki Sornobashi, Slamfest 99, and lost episodes of Doctor Who, there are thousands of other pieces still waiting to be found that no one is looking for. These are those pieces. This is lesser-known lost media.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is I, your host, Mr. Sean, here with another episode of Lesser Known Lost Media. Just so you know, this is the first episode I have recorded since my wedding, this week's earlier video being one that I recorded beforehand, and I just wanted to let you know that the wedding went spectacularly and everything has been going great since. While I am still currently not back to work when I'm recording this, by the time it goes out I will be, so I assume that I will miss being at home, especially since I've started playing Baldur's Gate 3, so I would rather be at home doing that. I'm gonna get to some updates for the channel and my life in general before we get into the video today, so let's do that. During my wedding, we had our ferret Roro boarded. He actually ended up getting a surgery to fix for an implant to help with his adrenal disease. He's been losing his hair, so hopefully we will start to see some regrowth on that soon. As you know, a lot of profits for this channel do go directly into making sure he has the best of care. So if you are a ferret lover, please consider joining the Patreon or the memberships that I'm about to update on. So yeah, we've gotten to the 500 subscribers that YouTube requires in order to have memberships. So there are now memberships on the channel. They're pretty much the same as the first 3 tiers of my Patreon, and the prices are similar. I think the YouTube memberships are a penny cheaper due to how YouTube lets you price things. These tiers are $2.99, $4.99, and $9.99 a month if you subscribe via YouTube, and they offer things like shoutouts, works in progress content, exclusive voting, basically the same things I was offering on the Patreon. I wanted to have one tier higher, but unfortunately it would have broken YouTube's membership rules, but I have put this tier as a new tier on my Patreon, and I'm about to explain that. I had a similar tier when I first started my Patreon, but I did get rid of it when I reworked everything, but I've brought this back and added a thing. I call this the Miniature Fanatic tier. What this is for $15 a month. Every member of the Miniature Fanatic tier will be automatically entered into a giveaway every month to win a free miniature, which of course will be announced on this channel. The other perk of this tier, in addition to all the previous perks, is that every time I do a milestone giveaway, there will be a second giveaway that every single member of that tier will be automatically entered into, and of course it will be announced alongside the results of the milestone giveaways. So, and because we're doing a milestone giveaway to celebrate the 500 in this video, now is a great time to join that tier if you are so interested. And with all that being said, let's get into number 1. At number 1, we have Gorilla Interrupted, a partially lost original cut of a sci-fi comedy film from 2003. So, Gorilla Interrupted is an amateur sci-fi comedy film that was originally from 2003. It features the founding members of Red Letter Media, Mike Stoklasa, Jay Bauman, and Rich Evans in their first major collaboration. Deliberately schlocky and loosely plotted, the film features a punk rocker, a scientist, a safari hunter, and a man who is given the power to transform into a gorilla getting tangled up in an alien invasion. The film remained largely obscure until 2013 when Red Letter Media released a remastered cut on DVD and digital download. This was a completely new edit created from the original source tapes, featuring newly created special effects and a replacement soundtrack among a myriad of other changes. While some tape changes were made for creative reasons, others were made for copyright concerns. The original cut featured various copyrighted images and audio, including images of hell taken from a Google image search, and a scene in which characters watch the 1988 Bette Midler film, Beaches. The biggest change was they removed an entire sequence because of music licensing reasons. This was a scene that showed Rich Evans' character dancing in the Chicago streets, miming along to a song from the 1971 musical Jesus Christ Superstar as alien saucers destroy the city around him. So, while the 2013 cut is available from the Red Letter Media website, the original 2003 cut is not. According to the video description of the original trailer, the 2003 cut was available on MySpace at some point, though the link is now dead. The documentary accompanying Gorilla Interrupted, which is entitled How Not to Make a Movie, features the only available footage of the original cut. The DVD release also features a short outtake segment for How Not to Make a Movie, which includes the only discussion of the Lost Jesus Christ Superstar musical number. Due to the aforementioned copyright reasons and the obscurity of the film on the original release, it is unlikely that the original 2003 cut will be released in the future, nor will original copies resurface. At least that's what the Lost Media Wiki predicts. If I had to guess, I would say that if Red Letter Media continues to be popular, I don't know much about them, but I have heard of them before, I would say that at maybe some fan convention they might air the original cut and then maybe like give away the original cut DVDs for free. I don't know. I don't know if that's something these guys would do, but if I was in their place, that's what I would do. So maybe we could still see this one at some point. At number 2, we have The Dandy, lost web-based final issues of the long-running Scottish anthology comic, circa 2012 to 2013. So The Dandy was a Scottish children's anthology comic book which was released between 1937 and 2013 by DC Thomson, no relation to DC Comics. It was considered a sister comic to the younger but more popular The Beano, known for publishing the Scottish version of Dennis the Menace, which is an interesting story all on its own but not Lost Media, on which the comic is fondly remembered by those who grew up on it and has the title of third longest running comic book series, but faded from relevancy by 2004, leading to multiple attempts at rebrands of varying success, culminating in the comic's final print issue in 2012 and a short-lived online relaunch the same year, which lasted only 6 months with another rebranding occurring within that time. So, the webcomic run, when The Dandy transitioned into a webcomic, it started on the same day that the print run ended with a free issue, while later issues would be provided through subscription. It utilized the digital format to accompany every comic strip with a game based on it and voice acting, with the comics editors hinting at back catalog comics being added later down the line. The release was promoted with an exhibit at the University of Dundee. The strip also spun off into a YouTube channel featuring live-action content such as video game reviews, celebrity interviews, and parody news reports. The strips featured in the first issue were Desperate Dan, which actually utilized his original design rather than a controversial redesign the character had back in 2010. Brassneck, Keyhole Kate changed from a naughty girl to a detective, Banana Man, The Numbskulls, and a new title known as Retroactive, which was a non-comedic superhero series. The website was noted for having poor optimization for mobile browsers and eventually becoming poorly adjusted for desktop browsers as well, with issues such as the comics failing to fit inside the screen and arrows for navigating comics disappearing. Additionally, it was criticized for positioning itself in a manner like a video game portal, despite the games not being of an equal quality to the comics. Due to the first set of issues being unsuccessful, DC Thomson attempted to rebrand, deleting all the previous comics in the process, even from those who had purchased them. That sucks. And introducing a new feature where you could create an avatar to appear in comics. Ultimately, the comic would be discontinued due to not finding an audience, finally putting The Dandy out of print after 76 years, though yearly annuals and Beano crossover summer specials would continue to be published consistently afterwards. So, the first iteration of the website is completely lost, and the only things from the second iteration that can be found on the Wayback Machine are the homepage and the character bios. Fortunately, all of the post-relaunch comic covers are archived, and there are multiple screenshots of the comic that can be seen on Sea Lion Press and Wacky Comics. The YouTube channel remains archived in its entirety, including content from before the digital launch, and can be found under the channel name The Dandy Comic. Among them, a trailer for the app that shows footage of the comic's avatar creator and games. DC Thomson's comics will often reprint strips, so it is possible that some strips from the online Dandy could have ended up in later issues of Beano comics or Dandy annuals with the interactive elements stripped. I think this one is so interesting because it is definitely a case of a property that has been around for a long time that fails to adapt to its changing audience and the changing world in which its audience lives. You know, they decided, oh, our sales are down, I guess digital's the way to go, so we're going to slap a website together, we're going to make some cheap, terrible games to go along with it, because kiddos love the internet games. And then when that wasn't working, they further alienated their audience by deleting the stuff they'd already paid for, which sounds absolutely like such a dumb move. I do hope that somewhere there does exist, because the DC Thompson it does still exist. Hopefully they have an archive and they will sometime reprint it, either reprint the strips themselves in its entirety or give some kind of like digital release where you can get all the content, including the games and the avatar creator. I think that would be a really cool thing, because this is a comic distributor who has a long and storied history, and it's sad that this one blemish is still around, but that they haven't remedied it by re-releasing everything that is currently lost. At number 3, we have Dragon Ball Z Buchigiri Match, which is a lost web-based card game based on the anime series from 2018. So this browser-based card game, Dragon Ball Z Buchigiri Match, was launched in Japan on May of 2018 and shut down on March of 2020. Relying on the gacha style of mobile game monetization, the game was reportedly closed due to a failure to make enough money, likely due to the game being browser-only or because of the developer being unable to go global. Thanks to the strength of the Dragon Ball mobile game community, the game was able to pick up notoriety and a decent cult following, spawning its own subreddit and devoted players willing to translate and play the game publicly. As to its availability, the game has countless gameplay videos, guides, and full translation guides for it, yet the service has shut down, making it impossible to actually play the game, despite its devout following. There have currently been no attempts to bring back the servers. I think this one's interesting because it's clear that this game had a fervent following. I don't necessarily agree to the gacha monetization. It sounds like you had to actually pay real money in order to play this game well. I know that Pokemon card game online is moving towards that. It used to be a lot easier to earn but just by playing that game and get coins to get new Pokemon card packs, but you can still get a free pack of cards for every pack of real cards you buy, so that's fine. But it's funny that games that a lot of gacha mobile games aren't overly profitable, like to the point of like Pokemon Go isn't nearly as profitable as Nintendo thought it was going to be, but it does have its fan base, and that does mean they keep it going. And it's interesting that in this one case, especially with a series as popular as Dragon Ball, that they weren't able to keep it going. Meanwhile, terrible video games like The Simpsons Tapped Out are still up and running with updates. And again, I think a big part of that is that apparently they were not able to go global. I think if this game had gotten over to America, it definitely would have gotten big. I'm not a huge fan of the Dragon Ball series myself, but I do appreciate that it is one of the top best loved anime of all time. It's just not my personal cup of tea, though I did like it a lot more when I was younger. And I do think it's interesting that there is this piece of, well-known media from the series that just isn't available. At number 4, we're sticking with the theme of browser-based games you can't play anymore, which feature partially lost Nintendo Online Flash games from 2006 to 2007. So Nintendo Arcade was a website developed and published by Nintendo, which hosted online Adobe Flash games made to promote various Nintendo games and franchises. In total, 38 games were published on the website between 2006 and 2007, before the website was taken down in late 2007. So, from a period of time between 2006-2007, all of the games were available to be played online via the Nintendo Arcade website. Ever since that website was taken down, attempting to access it via its original URL leads to a 404 error page. Many of the games which were once available on the website have been saved to the Wayback Machine. These games were subsequently archived via the Web Game Preservation Project, Blue Maxima's Flashpoint, and can be played using the Flashpoint software. However, several of the games have not been saved and currently remain lost. Just a quick list of these games are Children of Mana Gem Challenge, Kirby Squeak Squad Speedy Tea Time, Magical Star Sign Trivia, New Super Mario Bros. 1-Up Hunt, Nintendo Fusion Tour Trivia, Nintendogs Dalmatian and Friends Trivia, Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Ranger Learn to Use the Capture Styler, Star Fox Command, Super Paper Mario Memory Match, Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, Wario, Masters of Disguise Trivia, and Yoshi's Island DS Yoshi's Egg Toss. Now, apparently Yoshi's Egg Toss was playable on at least 2 microsites advertising the DS game Yoshi's Island DS, both of which have since been taken down. The first, on May 30th of 2021, YouTube user WaltVS uploaded the video Yoshi's Egg Toss, Nintendo's official Flash game, to their channel. One of their comments on the video provides the link to the European microsite for Yoshi's Island DS, where they recorded footage of Yoshi's Egg Toss. However, the microsite has since been taken down and the URL has been excluded from the Wayback Machine. The game was also playable on the North American microsite for Yoshi's Island DS, yoshisisland.nintendods.com. In order to load properly, the microsite requires the files splash.swf and splash_config.xml. However, the splash_config.xml file has not been saved to the Wayback Machine. And, you might be saying, well, obviously Nintendo would have these in their archives and they could just re-release all of them as like a bundle, but we've also seen with other lost media cases, more well-known ones, that Nintendo is not always great at archiving things they just tend to get rid of, so who knows if we'll ever see these again. Alright guys, it is that time again. I didn't give this at the beginning of the video, so if you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. There have been quite a few of you that have joined since I last made a video, and what we do here, in between number 4 and number 5, because number 5 is, of course, always our not safe for work piece of lost media, is either one, I'll do an ad roll for my business, Chimera Miniatures, or, in many cases, I will announce a giveaway, which is exactly what I'm doing here, because thank you so much, everybody. We finally got to 500 members. This is amazing, and of course we will now do a milestone giveaway to reward you all for your help in helping this channel grow. Also, because this is the first video going giveaway since I added the Miniature Fanatic tier to my Patreon, and if you would like to join, now's a great time to do it, because I will get to which mini you will be automatically entered to win should you join that tier. So starting with the standard giveaway, this is Firefly, who is kind of a masked anarchist punk rocker, fey creature. You see, he's a pyro. He's got the flame gloves. He's got the upside down pentagram tattoo. He's got this cool mohawk mask, and of course leather pants with a chain. One of my favorites that I've ever made, and he was going to be a giveaway when I first introduced the mini giveaway tier on Patreon, but of course I did not have any Patreons at the time, so now I'm going to use him for this giveaway because I think he would be an amazing piece to someone's collection. Now, if you would like to win Firefly, you must enter within the first 7 days of this video going live. So you have until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 18th, 2023, to enter the following comment to enter to win Firefly. And that phrase is "let it burn." Alright, I'm going to put that up on the screen. Let it burn. Just type the phrase "let it burn" right how you see it there up on the screen into the comment section within the first 7 days, and then boom, you are entered to win Firefly, and the winner will be announced in a future video. And now for the side-by-side, the additional miniature giveaway to all of those who join my Miniature Fanatic tier in my Patreon. every one of you, again, this giveaway is running the same time as Firefly, so that first 7 days, till 11 Eastern Standard, November 18th, 2023, anyone who joins that tier is entered to win this figure, which I call Radical Raggedy Andy. He's kind of a ragdoll-like person. Clearly he's got some energy powers coming out of his hands, and some cool, like, Iron Spider, Doc Ock, bladed arms coming out of his back. So clearly the ragdollish creation of a twisted mind, and that can be yours if you have joined my Miniature Fanatics tier over on Patreon. Link is in the description. Again, I want to thank everybody who's joined up to this point and everyone who will join in the future. It's amazing. We're already almost at 520 subscribers after just getting to 500. It's so great to have your support. So thank you so much, everybody. And with that being said, let's get to our final not safe for work piece of media. At number 5, we have the Cracked.com After Hours, Why Mario is Secretly a Dick with a Mustache, which is a partially found extended version of an internet video from 2012. So apparently Cracked.com's After Hours program has had several of their episodes have slightly different versions, different types of censoring, whether you watch it on Cracked.com or the YouTube version. And one of these is a video entitled Why Mario is Secretly a Dick with a Mustache. Apparently, when they uploaded the episode to YouTube after they had originally put it on Cracked, they noted in the comments that it was a special extended version that was only made available on YouTube. This cut was different from the original in that when Michael says "no genitals," it cuts to a picture of Bowser with a magnifying glass over his crotch to illustrate Michael's point, and after he asks, "What other man does that?" instead of immediately cutting to Katie saying, "The Castlevania guy," it instead shows the peach-resembling waitress asking about Luigi. Michael shunning his head, and then back to Katie saying, "Oh, the Castlevania guy." This version of the video was later removed from their YouTube channel because of, as Cracked put it in the comments of the regular version's upload, sexy legal reasons. Seeing as the only other different element of the cut would be the 2 additional words of dialogue, this is quite possibly referring to an official stock render of Bowser being used that could have alerted the attention of Nintendo, despite the series getting away with using numerous other aspects from the Super Mario series in the episode in-game footage and parodic animations, as well as generally using copyrighted material and movie and television clips throughout the entire series. This could also be referring to how the image was used in a humorous sexual context, but that also doesn't seem too distant from what the episode portrays in its brain animations. Cracked also states to have switched out an element of the episode when in actuality they just replaced the extended version with the regular version entirely, as in that case only the Bowser genitals imagery would have been replaced and not also the extended dialogue with the waitress and Katie. It's also worth noting that the teaser for the second season of After Hours also had alternate footage for the Mario episode that is unused or not seen on screen. This doesn't include any footage relating to the extended version, nor is it considered a part of this lost media to be found. While it's unknown if any may have copied the specific upload while it was available and still have it, a fan-made recreation of the missing scenes has since been uploaded. Now, I know that, there's this whole thing, I do it myself, that if you're parroting, if you're educating, all that, you can use copyrighted material. But the thing is Nintendo is very, we've talked about this before, just very adamant about the protection of their intellectual property. So using stock footage of Bowser looking for his genitals, who knows, might have been a step too far for Nintendo, and even though, Cracked.com might have been in the right, who wants to go into a protracted legal battle with Nintendo that will get very expensive for what sounds to be a minuscule bit of additional footage that really doesn't add much to the overall video. This, in my opinion, is just one of those cases where not all lost media has to be something fantastic that, is lost forever, that ultimately changes the way we look at things. Sometimes it's just they cut a scene for legal reasons, and that scene is now gone. But I definitely think, it needs to be archived that it's missing, but I don't think we'll ever see this one. Cracked probably doesn't even have the footage anymore. They probably just junked it and decided it was not worth it for them. And I definitely, this is the other thing I think of this, is that I definitely think there's a lot of cases of something being slightly changed from its original version, and that people remember the original version, and I think that's what leads to the Mandela effect in a lot of cases. There's something that was in something originally, it was just quietly changed, and that change was never really archived or documented, so people come back to it later, they see the changed version and go, wait, that's not what I remember, but the fact is that just nobody ever documented that it changed, and so I do think even small bits of lost media like this one are important to archive, because I definitely think a lot of Mandela effect instances are just cases of lost media because something was changed and nobody bothered to write that down. And that's going to be the video, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel continue to grow. Be sure to leave the comment, let it burn, to enter to win the Firefly miniature. Be sure to check the links, buy a mini, join the Patreon, or if you'd like, you can just join with a YouTube membership if you'd like to help support the channel monetarily. With all that being said, I just want to thank all of you for being here. It's good to be back. Video scheduling should be consistent going forward. I actually had someone ask if being married would change how often I am able to put out videos. It really shouldn't, but the holidays are coming up, so if I have to miss one here and there, it's likely due to the holidays. That all being said, I'm Mr. Sean, this is Chimera Miniatures, and until next time, I hope that you alpha great day, and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, and before I forget, let me thank my current patron, J-Dog. J-Dog, thank you so much for joining the Patreon. If you would like to hear me and my friend J-Dog talk about 90s toys, you can click the video link that is appearing on the screen. It's pretty fun. We do get pretty drunk while we're talking about it, but J-Dog has recently become an official supporter of the channel, so this is my weekly shout out to all of my current patron members of that tier. So thank you so much, J-Dog. If you'd like to hear your name mentioned in a future one, please join the Patreon or one of the YouTube memberships. I'll be doing shout outs for both. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.